Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lisa DeMeo, and I am joined by my husband, Chris DeMeo, and we are here at the Talking Gravesend Podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to celebrating William DeMeo's streaming series, Gravesend. Today, we're here to talk about Season 2, Episode 3, Rudy Giuliani. So this was a quite action-packed episode.
Another great episode, Lisa, filled with some characters that we got a glimpse of in Season 1, really a bigger roles in Season 2. The storyline really develops down in Florida. I love the episode. So want to jump right into it?
All right. The scene opens to a Cadillac, and they're in the alleyway, and we see Sammy coming out, and he is greeting two men, one named Carlos and one named Pablo.
Yeah, this is kind of a gritty scene. They come out, they're doing a weed deal, Lisa. And they come out, and I guess he gives them, hey, I got chocolate tie. He tells them, you're not going to get that anywhere else around here, my friend, he says. And he gives them 5 pounds of chocolate tie weed.
Yes.
And next thing you know, the guys just turn around and walk away from him.
Yeah, he says, wait a minute, you owe me $8,500. And one of the guys
pulls out a big knife.
out a knife, and he says, well, we're going to take it on the arm. And I was surprised, but Sammy kind of gives a bit of a meek look and turned around and pulls out the gun. He freaking lays Pablo out. Carlos pulls out his gun.
Jumps in a trash
can. He jumps into the dumpster.
It's quite pack right
oh
off
my
the
God,
rip.
the poor homeless man. The homeless man took it.
He took it, right? He
took
caught a hot
one right in the belly, as they'd say, a hot one to the belly. So
that was how the show opens. I mean, it was action packed, and then boom, we cut right to the hot Gravesend intro by Lords of Brooklyn. And right when we come out of that scene, the first opening scene, they're at the new casino that Benny and Ronaldo have set up down in one of the boat rooms. Actually, not the boat rooms, but one of the boatyards.
Correct.
That Murray and his nephew own.
Yes. And so they are talking about their gambling customers. Do we have this scene, Chris?
Yeah, we do, actually. Why don't we play a little bit of it, and then we'll come back.
With the sports betting, they're giving it all back right here. They gamble more than us Italians. You know who gambles?
So they're talking about how the Jewish folks are killing them at the sports betting, but they're giving it all back here at the casino. Hey, here's Vic.
Oh, here's Vicky Sandals, Vicky Flip Flops.
Vicky Flip. No, his name is Barry in the show. And then look how happy he is. He's like, Santini's thrilled with everything that's going on. Total change of tune here for Barry.
And we're opening up another
Andrew Dice, look at the glasses. Looks great.
He really does.
That's good. That's good.
So there you go. So Santini's happy. Everybody's, it's got a green light in Florida. The money's rolling in with this. I mean, there's a lot of people at that casino doing business.
I was surprised by how packed that little casino was. So quite impressive. So next up, we are back in New York, and a yellow cab pulls up to the Burrows there.
This is a great scene. So we're going back to Borough Park where the murder was from Season 1. And we're outside of Abe's house, and a beautiful old New York checkered cab pulls up. And I mean, I miss those cabs.
Quite a nostalgic sight. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
You know what? If you remember those cabs, you guys, they had the 3 seats that would be against the wall of the driver, right? So you could fit like 5 people in those cabs.
I was always in the little circle one.
I loved those cabs, and I miss that they're not in New York anymore. So we're reintroduced to some characters here, and I really want to give them a moment. So there's 2 FBI agents that are outside waiting for them.
Yes.
We're introduced to Agent Morano and Agent Taylor. So Agent Morano was played by Paul Borghese, and of course you saw Paul last episode, or rather last season. He was the only Italian in the van when they were surveilling some of the guys.
Right.
So Paul is an amazing talent. We're super happy to cover him today, and I had an opportunity to watch him on a podcast. He was on the Jimmy Palumbo show.
Yes.
And actually,
that was a great podcast.
Great podcast. Learned a ton about you, Paul. And Jimmy did a great job interviewing me. And also, hey, Jimmy, the name sounded familiar because he was in episode 2, Lenny's Pizza.
Yes, he owned Lenny's Pizza.
Yeah,
that was Tommaso's brother-in-law.
I didn't know they were brother-in-law.
I didn't know that either.
So it was really fun. And then Paul's, I'm sure you guys know about Paul Borghese. I mean, he was in The Sopranos. He was in The Son of Sam. He wrote, directed, and produced Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn. I mean, this guy is a huge talent. He's really somebody who I know you've seen on the screen several times. And he's actually working on a brand new project with a bunch of the cast members.
Yes.
From Gravesend.
From Gravesend,
What's the name of that project?
That is called the Jailhouse Beef Jerky Crew.
So I guess it's kind of a comedy that it's all based on the same kind of, all in the in the subject matter that we love.
Sure,
you know?
sure. In that
I
organized
know
crime type of vein.
Peter Gaudio is in the show. Tony Darrow. Tony Darrow is his cousin.
Yes, I didn't even know Tony Darrow was his cousin.
So all of the fellas are in the movie or the show. I know they just finished the pilot. You're going to want to check out the jerky. I think they even have a real national product line release.
Yeah.
They actually have beef jerky that are going to be selling at the stores. So
a lot of excitement coming out of there.
And just really quick before we jump to it, one of the biggest roles that Paul's known for is he played Yogi Berra in the HBO series, HBO movie 61. That was directed by Billy Crystal. And I know that was a really important role for him. He talked a lot about it. He learned a lot. He actually met with Yogi Berra to really get ready for this part.
Sure. Deep dive into the character.
So we love you, Paul, and we love all your scenes. And I guess law enforcement's really going to start showing up here to be a bit of an antagonist here in season 2 and 3. So we'll probably be seeing
Everybody
a lot more
knows
of Agent
the
Morano.
Popo is a bit of an antagonist.
You know, it's kind of interesting. They chose an Italian to be the special agent in charge, right? He's like the lead agent. So definitely some interesting things coming up.
Got to throw one of your own to hate, you know?
Yeah, God.
Be able to infiltrate the language.
So at 7 minutes and 24 seconds on the timeline, the next scene is Dominic and Benny sitting at the pool. And they're talking about how they haven't gotten fat. Now, this seems to surprise me, Lisa.
I was so excited to see Dominic. I was like, wait a minute, Dominic's back? He took a hot one to the belly in the first episode. So we were pretty excited to see him back. And what I noticed right off was Benny was dressed differently than normal. He had, it looked like almost like gray sweatpants, cutoffs. And
his whole demeanor was different, right?
Absolutely.
He was like a young man, like they were just pals hanging around. He wasn't in charge at that, right?
Correct.
They were just friends.
It was just friends. Because we know that they were good friends as
their moms grew up together.
Yeah, their moms grew up together.
Friends. So it's interesting because two girls come into the scene, and he's like, "Oh, let's just go over there."
What does he say? Oh, Menga Benny.
Menga, look at that! Look at the rack on that one.
Yeah,
You know?
double D's.
So, and he's like, let's go over and let's go pick him up. Let's go pick him up. And Benny's like, "Hey, calm back. Let him come to us."
They're gonna swim over, you know.
And reminded me of that joke. You want to run down and fuck one of those bulls. He goes, "No, son, let's walk down and fuck them all." So you know what I mean? I really like that scene. And then
classy, Chris. Keeping it classy.
So, and then you kind of realize it's a dream because Benny says to him, ladies have, what do you say?
Ladies have always been your downfall. And he looks right at him and says, well, you didn't have to kill me for it. And then we flash back to the scene of him getting the hot one in the garage from Benny. And then we flash to Benny waking up, actually, and we learn that it was an actual dream. I think we have this footage.
I do, and I want to watch a couple of
seconds.
Because
there's a few things about this scene that are telling, and that you'll see be a theme throughout the series.
So here's Paul Maggiani. I mean, here's Dominic and Benny sitting at the pool. You can see how they look.
I really like both of their glasses.
Yeah, I want
those
Benny's
are some
glasses.
killer sunglasses.
Those are awesome glasses.
Yeah.
What kind of glasses are those? William, you got to tell me. I need to get these. So you can see how they talk, and they bring up the girls coming up. It's a really great scene. Looks really good, too. Okay, so let's jump. All right, so this is what Lisa was talking about. So here's Benny waking up from that dream.
All right, things to note about this.
Yeah.
The bottle of liquor. The shirt and pants. We have seen this shirt and pants before.
So this is the only, I would say, out of sequence and or non-linear editing that is in this episode. And you're going to catch up to what it is soon.
So now we are in a club.
Yeah, 8:59 on the timeline.
So the next scene opens up. We're in a club, and we see Nicky Sesta reading the newspaper, and he is joined by Baldy is in the room there, Yokaz, and Tony Luke Jr. is also in this scene.
He's wearing a Brooklyn brand sweatsuit, and he's catching some heat for not being on top of all of the Atlantic City casinos that are opening. Again, we're in like 1987 at this time.
What casinos would have been opening during that time? So it might have been.
So my buddy Big H opened up Steve Wynn's place, the Nugget, the Golden Nugget.
Right,
so I bet you they're talking about the Golden Nugget right now. And I really wonder. I know Tony Darrow used to perform down in Atlantic City. I know he flew up in a helicopter to audition for Martin Scorsese for Goodfellas. So I like that AC is kind of intertwined into this story because we love Atlantic City.
Absolutely.
We love the boardwalk. We love the action. Come on, it's a lot of fun. So he just talks to me. I'd get over there really quick. There might be a little bit of footage on that, Lisa. We kind of cut around and not. Now the scene is with Armando Sante. And we love Armando Sante. I mean, this guy, I love his delivery of his lines. Here's Tony Luke right here in the Brooklyn brand sweatsuit. Of course, we got Baldy's watching over everything. This guy cuts an intimidating look, I'll tell you.
He sure does.
Nice.
Telling him, priorities.
But which priorities?
It's family. Well, which family?
Which one?
Yeah, he's holding his feet to the fire.
So he tells him, if I were you, I would get there. I would go to Newark today.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's what he goes and does. So, yeah, great scene with Tony Luke. Of course, you know Tony Luke. We love his music. We love his food. So you can't deny Mr. Tony Luke Jr. in this show. Oh, so as he's leaving, as Tony Luke leaves, Santini Trifato walks in. And it was kind of a surprise, right? We were like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, some major powwow is about to go down.
So they end up having a little boss's stand-up sit-down, and they're talking about a problem. He says, look, I got a guy who's causing a real problem for me. He threw somebody I protected off a boat. And he goes, off a boat? What is he? Was he a lifeguard?
He said he ended up swimming and getting away. And that was a funny line when he says, oh, was he a lifeguard? It was just very quickly said, but it was cute.
So he actually says something. He kind of gives him a little moment, and he says, when he says this is Nicky talking over Trifato, and he says, I did a piece of work one time, real piece of work. And I can't tell you. The guy
was a rat,
I'm not going to tell you who it is, but they never found him. And I thought that was great. I mean, obviously, to me, I thought he was talking about Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, I also...
So the next scene, it's an organized crime sweep, right? And it's all news report with Rudy Giuliani talking about them admitting to being members of the Cosa Nostra, being heads of the family. And then the next scene, Betty is lighting a cigar outside of the Miami hotel and obviously feeling horrible about what's going on back in New York.
Yeah. And then we flash back. And we have a flashback to.
Oh yeah, this is a little. We find out a little bit.
Yeah, this is very interesting because he brings up some old beef that he had in the past with Bartolo.
So you remember Bartolo was out of that brown Monte Carlo in the very first episode of season 2,
yes,
where Gaetano
where
and
Gaetano
Big
comes with the Manson lamps,
fucking whacks them out. Yeah,
those
with the
baby blues.
Gaetano, come on, we love that video. So there they are. They're sitting at this card game. We're going back in time, and there's a few things I want to point out here. Number one, they're playing rummy. They're not playing poker. Everybody plays poker today. Rummy was the game.
And there's so many versions of rummy.
Many versions.
Yeah, the kids today don't play rummy.
Don't play rummy.
They're all up on the video games.
You know what movie I love that covered rummy? Flamingo Kid.
Flamingo Kid.
Sweet Georgia Brown.
No, Sweet Ginger Brown.
Ginger Brown.
Sweet Ginger Brown.
Come on, Matt Dillon was awesome in that. Anyway.
All right, back to Gravesend.
So let's play this for a second, and then we're going to tell them why. So here's Bartolo. And
he does a great job. I really like it. Everything's friendly here. It's like, this isn't even making up for all of my losses that I had last time.
Yes. And that's what he mentions. He's like,
and this,
I don't know if it's all luck. He won 6 hands in a row. And there he goes.
Then the music changes.
Look at the face. What do you mean by that?
It's like, what are you saying here? Everyone, the looks.
The temperature just changed in the room significantly.
And the soundtrack that's playing right now really provokes your heartbeat. You're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, you know it's about to happen. Now, here's 6 hands.
6 hands,
Danny.
6
hands. Look at the extreme. Everything goes extreme on everybody's face.
He's pissed.
You
He's saying I'm like
So if you notice, Benny's drinking in this scene. And we know that alcohol does not agree with Benny.
No.
So I wonder, Lisa, if this was one of the moments in his life that he realized that alcohol didn't serve him.
Could be.
Just kidding, man.
I like the way the shot's lit.
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes to pummel the crap out of that kid.
He says, "Oh, we're all friends here," and he just beats the piss out of the poor guy. I mean, he really takes a beating. And then, you got to appreciate Big Rocco giving him that sucker kick walking out. Way to go on that one.
Yeah, he gave him a fucking slug right to the thing.
Yeah, that was great.
So the next scene opens up. It's daytime. They're at the pool. Mario and Pete are having some coffee. Benny walks up and he says, "Hey, look at your sweatsuits are on the front cover." And Benny's pissed. He doesn't give a shit. He goes, "Oh, a lot of those guys were my friends."
Yeah.
And
Mario was just trying to make a joke, but
Sure.
you don't want to make light of subjects like that.
And then it flashes back to Benny in jail and when he did one of his bids. And this is just a silent scene, and it's very solemn. And then
and you hear lights out. That was the only major audio that you hear.
So this is a really moving scene. When I say moving, it's kind of a pivotal scene in the story at 17 minutes and 49 seconds.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Gaetano is walking out of the dry cleaner, and he is introduced to a couple of agents. We have
Agent Diaz is there.
Agent Diaz, played by Jamie Zavelos, and Agent Foley, played by Jim Chandler. And they approach Gaetano, and As they were to steal a line from Slapshot, they really fuck him in the mind.
Oh, they mind fuck him so bad in this one.
You tell he gets worked in this one.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, you know what? Do I have this scene? Because I want to watch just a second of it.
Yeah.
I do.
Here we go.
Are you kidding me?
So here he is. There's a beautiful Cadillac.
You two idiots again?
Maybe a Fleetwood
We're
Coupe.
the idiots.
Coupe de Ville.
You did 6 years for being in the collector.
Like Gaetano's shirt here.
The colors are just so fabulous in a lot of these shots.
Yeah.
You know when I got pinched in
I like his
78, you all
glasses.
try the same shit? It don't jive with guys like me. Get that
Yeah,
in
so
your
they're
head.
trying to get him to flip, right? They're like, look,
Conversation and talk.
he's
That's not gonna work on me.
Benny's got you picking up his dry
shot.
cleaning. You're not even made yet.
And,
You know what I mean?
Your bosses, they need to get more creative with the cars they put you in. Crown Vic? Come on.
He makes fun of the
Only nerds
Crown
like
Vic
you
he's
would drive
driving.
those cars.
You really think
fucking
that speaking
love
like
Chris.
that's going to get you anywhere? You don't think Salva and the other informants didn't say the same shit? Huh?
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between me and
And
them.
this is where it gets,
I
right? They
did
start
my
talking
time.
about
They did.
honor.
You're
Now
proud of
watch
that?
this.
Yeah, I am.
What'd it get you? You're not even a made guy. How would you want to be? Your life, your friends, they're a thing of the past. The Lucky Luciano days are long gone.
Yeah, so he's just,
There's no honor anymore.
Oh, well, I suppose you guys have honor.
right,
I'm
here's
sure
what
you
he talks
heard about all
the
the arrests we just made. Most of them are going to wish they get 6 years. Your next pinch, I bet you anything it's going to be a lifer. And the women today, they don't wait around anymore. But you already know that, don't you, Gaetano?
Oh.
Not enough of this shit.
That was below the belt.
That was the below the belt. So that was the scene that I wanted to play, right? So they just, I mean, because we know Gaetano's wife left him during his 6-year bid. And then for the guy saying, you know, the women don't stick around anymore like that was a fucking blow.
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
And they handed him the card. And I was wondering if Gaetano was going to slap the card out of his hand.
I wouldn't have taken it,
But he took it. He took the
and
card.
that's how you kind of know. That was a little telltale that they got in his mind.
Yeah, they did. Next scene is Maureen, and they're in bed with Benny after a little.
His little Colombian fling from the bar that he picked up there.
So she's talking about, you know, doesn't it bother you that we only get to see each other once in a while? And he says, look, you know, I love the time that we're together.
Yeah, let's just enjoy that. And he says, you know, you work every night. And she says, I'm doing.
She's sending money home to the sister, so she don't have to work.
So
in the
her
bar.
sister doesn't have to work at the bar. And Benny is very gracious, quite the gentleman, and says that, you know, I'll pay for. I'll send the money. You don't have to work that hard. And I thought it was quite respectable of her to say, you know what, I got me. Thank you, but
just
I
wanted him.
just want the
Yeah,
time.
sweet, yep.
So that's kind of nice. She really has the hots for Benny. So.
It's not going to work out. I have a feeling it's not working out.
Cynical.
Hey, he loves Virginia.
We all
Okay,
know.
we know he loves Virginia. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to 2146 on the timeline. We don't have a video of this, but it's Gaetano looking at the Agent Foley's car,
Yes.
drinking a beer out on the back dock.
Yes.
This is one of those scenes where Chris got my attention. The way he's running through the scenario that he's in his head, looking at that card. It's a moment. And then Mikey he doesn't sneak up, but he comes up behind him. And then, of course, Gaetano's probably heart jumps into his stomach because he's holding a fucking FBI agent's card.
Of course. So he acts a little bit guilty. He's like, hey, don't be sneaking up on people like that.
And that's when he says, that's not a good idea. And then Mikey the Hat offers that little bit of guidance that we were talking about in the last episode. He goes, hey, you're having too many beers. And he goes, I'm having a beer. He goes, 6 is more than a couple of beers.
6 is more than just
right?
a couple of beers, yeah.
And then Gaetano looks at Mikey the Hat and he goes, you're in the same boat I am.
And Mikey says, what boat is that?
What boat is that? And that was a fucking faux pas right there. He knew it. And Mikey the Hat knew, and he just said, go in before you say something that you're going to regret. Why don't you go in and sleep it off? And Gaetano does just that. So this is back to Mikey the Hat is the rabbi of the crew. He really, I appreciate what he brings to understanding what happens when you really screw up.
Yes. He is quite a support.
So the next scene is actually a really fun scene because it has Petey and it has Mario.
Yes.
And this was one of the if you watch all of our shows, you know that we identify with Mario's character because of how he feels about celebrities, because we feel kind of the same way about celebrities.
We're fans.
We're fans, right? I mean, why do you think we're doing this show? Because we like what you do, and you make us feel good when we watch what you do. So Bruce, he just wants to meet Sly Stallone.
Yes.
And they're stalking him outside of his house in Miami, and this is hilarious. I have this scene. Let's play it, and then let's talk about it, okay?
It's really a sweet scene.
And you, all of you who have been watching the show know, so we're doing something a little bit different with the audio today. I'm not playing the audio so it doesn't get messed up in post. So here's the scene. Love the scene, little intercoastal waterway, great song. Here they are in the Cadillac. He's in Petey's Cadillac, sitting outside waiting for Sly.
Starting to lose patience, been there all day.
My man Buster looking good in the shot.
I was told he shouldn't be coming home from his lunch meetings about now.
Where
Who the fuck is he? I'm dying to meet him.
Over an hour. I'm dying to meet him.
I'm sure he's dying to meet you, too.
Oh, shit.
Now they're excited. What do we see?
You think it's him?
It's a Rolls Royce pulling up.
So watch. Oh my God.
This is so cute.
Sly, it's me.
It's me.
Sly. Yo.
Tells him, get the fuck off my yard.
Come on. He says, get off my property.
He's like, come on.
Come on. So Petey's laughing. And look how the gloves close, because he's a tough guy, right? And the gloves close on him. So straight up. So let's just talk about that. First of all, there's a meme that I made about this right when I saw it, and I'm going to put it up.
Yes.
And we mean no disrespect to Sly Stallone, but it's got my man Mario standing up, says, yo, Sly, I should have broke your thumbs. And I absolutely love the scene. And we identify with being kind of, I guess, brushed off by people that you've just really idolized your whole life.
Yeah, people
right?
you admire and stuff. You know, you could take the time. It only takes 1 second
Takes a moment.
to be nice to a fan, to sign an autograph, or just simply acknowledge
Move
them.
your finger over to the like button.
Yes, double tap as you're
You'd be
scrolling
surprised.
through their stuff.
So it was just a really cute scene, and I think it really humanizes Mario, and I hope that you all enjoy it as much as we do.
Absolutely.
So cigars being lit by Benny. He's sitting in with Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's wearing a bathing suit. Which
I was
is-
surprised
yep.
to see the short pants.
Short pants.
I wasn't aware that you were allowed to wear short pants, but I guess if maybe it was a bathing suit, so that's acceptable.
So
I don't know.
He has a little girl. He has a little girlfriend. Says they're waiting for you at the salon, honey. He says adios. He goes, oh, geez, you're really
good
fitting
with
in
that
the language
Spanish.
down in Miami. And he says that Travato's so happy with what they're doing down there. He's giving him a brand new Cadillac Alante. And just so you know, 1987 was the very first year for Cadillac Alante. They had a V8. They were a monster car. It was designed in Italy, just like Benny says on screen. So it was pretty cool. And he says the guy's going to drop off a car to the hotel soon. And then he says the Cadillac was just the first gift.
Yes, and we're curious to say what the second gift is, and that is when they realized that they were given the go-ahead to whack Salvi.
Yeah, finally. So now they're going to get to kill Salvi, and I know that Benny is very happy about that.
Yes. Well, this rat's been down there opening up all sorts of restaurants.
So they have a little meeting. All the guys are standing around. Let me see if I do have this. I may or may not. They're standing around the new Alante, and here's Gaetano right here. So Benny's telling him, hey, look, I want you to go down to that restaurant because they just killed Salvi, and now Benny's going to have a restaurant down on Collins Avenue in South Beach. So he says, I want you to go down there and talk to the restaurant owner on that one, or the landlord on the restaurant.
Yes,
right?
yes. They're talking about bringing water down, shipping water down for the pizza shops.
And then here they are talking to my buddy Mario. He's got a long face.
Look at Mario. He's so bummed out right now.
And that's what they're saying. He's like, what the hell's going on? And he says, well, we were trying to stalk Stallone. And Stallone told him to get off the property. And look at him.
But he's genuinely upset. And now everyone's making fun of him. He's like, thanks, Benny.
Yeah. Come on.
Are you really serious?
But see, Benny knows. This is important to him.
Yes.
Trying to meet him. Okay, listen.
Here we
We got
go.
a connection with Mickey Wall. One of our guys, he's very close to him.
Mickey.
I'll set up a meeting with him. I'm sure you know.
I love this scene.
Yeah, I do. Come on.
Benny.
Look how happy he is.
Yeah, turn it right around.
The little things.
Turned right around.
Yes.
Watch this.
Mickey Rourke, Paul Borghese Village. Charlie, he took my thumb.
Oh, I love it. He says, okay, let's go, Bedbug
Yeah,
Eddie.
he calls Mikey the Bedbug Eddie.
Oh, my
So,
goodness. So if you don't know, they're making a reference to probably one of our favorite movies.
The Pope of Greenwich
Village.
Oh, my God. So number
Cop
one.
shit his pants.
Cop shit his pants.
Oh,
God,
my
we
God.
love this show. So Charlie Moran, played by Mickey Rourke, his wardrobe in that movie, 100. He wears a Rolex Midas, which I haven't seen in a long time in that movie. Just looks dynamite. And then, of course, Eric Roberts just crushes it. And if you've seen any of our behind the scenes, we've got Eric Roberts' autograph here in the Talking Gravesend Podcast
We're
studio.
huge Eric Roberts
We're huge Eric
fans.
Roberts
Oh,
fans
my God.
because of that performance.
Absolutely.
Because of that performance. Anyway, so to include that in, good writing, William.
Yes,
Come on,
we love
everybody
that.
loves
Bringing
that.
it right back to a great New York movie. movie there.
Yeah, so at 28 minutes, Mario and Pete, because one of the things Benny says, you got to go see the Jews over with their money. So Mario and Pete walk in to see Murray and his son Eli, and they give him the money. They have a big stack of an envelope, and then the nephew gets kind of wise because he takes the envelope. He's like, "This is how you do it."
Getting a little sassy.
They kind of get wise with him. They bitch about the payphones, and they're like, they're fucking jamming, and I'm going to talk to Benny about this.
No, this is an attempt to disrespect them, and it's not going over well.
No, and he even says he's like, you think this gives you the ability to talk to one of Benny's guys like this. You're absolutely wrong. So next thing you know, he says, "Hey, I know fucking judo," and Bruce, I almost called him Bruce, and Mario pulls out a gun. He goes, "You scared now?" You put it right in his face, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Let
bring
it
the
go."
temperature down
and
here.
this is a great scene because Murray, played by Martin Kove, who I believe is Eli's dad in real life.
Yes.
Karate Kid, Kung Fu, not Kung Fu, Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, Rambo, and he says, "Do you think these men give a shit about your judo?" And I thought that was a really funny line coming from Marty Kove.
Sure.
Shout out, Marty. Coming back to Springfield soon. I want to see you. We're back in Benny. We're back in the hotel room. Benny gets a knock on the door. He pulls out his gun. He goes to the door.
Yes, and he sees that it's Mikey the Hat. And they proceed to walk out of the hotel room. And Mikey mentions to Benny that his nephew Sammy's in trouble. And
these kids are looking for him, and they're going to kill him.
Kids are looking for him, and they're going to kill
happen.
them.
Yep.
Exactly.
Benny gives him the okay to get him, and then at the next scene at 31 minutes and 23 seconds, we open up to just that. So let's play that really quick. So here we are. We've got, who is it, Carlos?
Carlos, yes. Pablo didn't make it home for dinner that night.
So I don't know who Carlos's friend is, but he's smoking some of the chocolate Thai, and he's saying, "Man, wherever this connect is, we got to find it." And Carlos says, "I don't give a shit about that. We're going to kill this motherfucker."
We're going to kill him.
And then, hey, no, you're not. Look at that. Sorry. Mario, Mikey the Hat fucking ended that crusade right then and there. Like this. Watch this.
Fuck you,
This is brutal.
Good night.
I don't know why I laughed before that, but
he won't be down for breakfast. So that was that scene, and we won't be seeing them anymore. And now we know that Sammy's out of trouble, right? He's not going to be any problems from these guys. 32 minutes. Next scene opens up with young girls hanging out.
Yes, L&B Gardens. And we see Diane, who is played by Cleo Lang. We see Rosemary Telva, who is
Gabriella.
played by Gabriella Palminteri, Chaz Palminteri's daughter.
And Linda.
And when I looked at Linda, I was like, Linda looks really familiar. Well, that's Ralph Macchio's daughter. She does great.
Yeah, you can take a look here. Here she is. I mean, that's Ralph Macchio's daughter.
all day.
And she's giving Rosemary a little bit of junk because this person's father is in jail. They said when they arrest Italians, they don't let them out.
They don't come out.
And Rosemary's just trying to feel better about her current situation. So I just wanted to play that. I love these little cameo spots by all these different actresses and actors.
Yes. So now we're at a new scene here, 32:26, and Sal says, "My man is here. All we got to do is sign." So we're cutting into the restaurant, and we see Salvi with my buddy Arthur, his partner.
Yeah. So here we are with the scene. We've got
this is the French restaurant.
Yeah.
Again.
So this is the first time we're meeting we're meeting Arthur's partner Renee, and Renee is actually played by the real Renee. He's the cannoli king of Philadelphia.
Yes, the cannoli king.
The Rim Cafe. We follow you online. I want to come down to this party.
I can't wait till you break the record.
It's like a 7-foot fucking cheesecake or something.
Yeah, they're doing a huge cheesecake.
So this is a really fun scene because we're confused. This is the restaurant that Salvi in our last episode threw the guy off the boat trying to buy his restaurant. And
the
he's
lifeguard.
Like, and he's even saying, he goes, you haven't seen your partner. You have no idea what happened. So Salvi doesn't know. He thinks maybe he ran off. So he's just delighted that he's getting this restaurant. And this guy's just playing along. So we don't know what's going on. The next thing that happens is Salvi walks into the bathroom with the signed contract.
Oh, my God. This guy is just diabolical. He really is. He's in there. He lays out his cocaine against
Before he does that, he fucks the contract.
I know. He wipes his junk with it. Yeah. Classy.
And then
classy.
he's like, "You're the man. You're the man." And he fucking puts out coke and he snorts it right off of the Do people really snort drugs off of public fucking spaces like that?
I don't
That's
know.
disgusting.
I am a germphobe, so
I would never do that.
I'm not doing that.
I wouldn't
you
do
know?
coke anyway, but I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're the man. And right when he wiped his balls
Listen,
with the contract.
I'm not taking anything to the toilet. I don't take anything to the toilet, okay?
No.
Yeah.
So when he wiped his balls with the contract, I knew that's exactly what that paper was worth. And he comes out of the bathroom to a very different scene. The whole crew's there dressed in black, and I've got a couple shots of it. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So here comes Salvi. He's happy as can be. He's coked up. He just won.
I like this scene. I like how Mikey the Hat handles it.
This is the last time you're going to see Al Sepinenza
You know,
in the show.
let's just take a look here. Notice what Benny's wearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Mikey the Hat.
Yeah, Salvi.
He never liked him in the first place.
No. Look at Benny's
here
outfit.
Comes Benny. So this is the outfit he was wearing when he woke up from the dream sequence with Dominic. So every time Benny puts in work, he has to self-medicate. That's something that's germane to the character. And he said, you remember Carmine? You remember Charlie? You put them away for life. They were your friends.
He's like, come on, don't do this. Don't do this. Oh, he's going to do this.
He's fucking doing it.
Yeah, a bullet would actually be easy.
Boom, right to the fucking foot.
Yeah.
He's down.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. It's not.
You wish they kept the gun out, sir.
Yeah, no, and this is where we get back to some brutal.
Yeah, this is where Benny's serious. I mean, look at the anger in his eyes. That's my cousin Charlie.
And we cut his throat.
I don't even like to look at this.
This guy should have maybe he should have prayed to St. Blaise before this. And that's because he talked, right? So that's the end of that.
Yep.
Great scene,
Salvi's
and everybody
the
can
rap.
cheer. The smell is now out of Florida.
Yes, the garbage has been taken out.
So the next scene, Baldy walks in to see Nikki, and he goes, that thing is done. And then it cuts to a funeral scene with kind of like a family leaving an empty, at the end of a wake.
Yes.
And they say, Mario, he goes in, he says, Mario, we're going to go and drop the body in the casket. So they had gone to, this was Trefato's cousin or nephew or something who owned the funeral parlor. And basically, once everybody left and paid their final respects to this young boy, they dropped Salvi's body on top of the coffin, closed it, and they buried him. They said, you don't know how many of these graves got two people buried in them. It was kind of spooky.
And just something that I've learned from watching these types of movies, being in the funeral parlor business is quite lucrative.
seems to be
if you
like,
have any friends in organized crime, I'm just like, gee whiz. Seems like you can make money hand over fist being a pal there.
So the next scene is pretty cool. It reminds me so much of a scene from The Sopranos. It takes place at the payoff underneath a bridge, and it's got I don't know the guy's name, but he was one of Salvi's bodyguards, and he's sitting in an El Camino, which is a really hot car.
Yes.
At least in the 70s. I wanted an El Camino in like 76, 77. I thought that was like the coolest car ever because it was like a truck and a car at the same time. So anyway.
Is his name Marcus?
Maybe
Marcus.
It is Marcus.
It was Salvi's bodyguard. And like Chris says, he pulled up in El Camino, and they throw him $100,000, and he says, "Oh, you guys."
Yeah, Barry pulls up in
throws
a
it.
Cadillac Eldorado. Very nice car. Everybody wanted an Eldorado, so he throws him the $100,000.
He says, "Oh, you guys really know how to do business," and
then that big guy comes in and shoots Marcus dead, and so he
He
wasn't
didn't
getting the
last
$100,000.
long. Yeah.
And the guy who came in was kind of like that heavyset guy that we met at Barry in the flip flop scene. So it's the next time we saw him. Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Yes, he was at the table in the background. I don't know who that is yet. We'll find. We'll look him up.
So it's really fun. So now the next scene, we're back at the pool. We're wrapping up the episode, and Benny comes down, and he's just like, he's having a good time with the guys. He feels happy for a change.
Yeah. It's quite a light scene by the pool.
And they talk about, they bring up Al Pacino, and he was like, Al Pacino, Scarface.
Yeah, every dog has its day.
Every dog has its day, talking about Salvi. So I think that was really fun. And then just then, Mikey the Hat rolls up with Sammy.
Yes. And
if you remember, Mikey the Hat wasn't going to bring Sammy around his friends, but...
No, and now Mikey the Hat's got the hat back on, so
The hat's back on.
and I was surprised to see Sammy with him, but now that we know that Sammy's out there killing people,
Yep.
Sam's
in.
Sam's welcome at the
So
table.
let's watch a little bit of that. So
And this is the first time I think that we see Christian DeMeo and William DeMeo in
the same scene.
In the same scene, and they do a great job at not playing father
they
and
do.
son.
And he introduces them. He says, "Here's all the guys."
You can see everyone kind of giving him a look. Everyone looks really happy.
Yeah, Gaetano gives him the blessing of the crew.
And that's the comedian.
He looks good.
Sammy,
Here's the Joker of the
you wearing
crew.
a wire, kid?
Look at this.
And then Mario.
Hey, you wearing a wire?
And then everyone stares
gives him
at
the
him.
look.
Uncomfortable.
This is great hazing. I love it. It shows the camaraderie. This is how I very like this. So they didn't make him strip down.
No.
I thought they were gonna make him strip down.
It almost seemed like Sammy wasn't buying it to begin with.
Yeah. And then you saw Mikey the Hat. He was laughing. He had his head turned. And then he says, "You know how to play Continental, another rummy game?" He goes, "Sure he does." So Sammy is welcomed into the crew. You can see that everybody really likes him.
And in walks Johnny Mad Dog. We see him, and Benny looks at him and says, "What are you doing in New York?"
Yeah, he's wearing like a pink flamingo shirt and everything.
Yes. And Mad Dog is played by Joe D'Onofrio.
Yeah, you remember Joe. I mean, he was in the Goodfellas, the
Didn't he
Bronx
play
Tale.
Slick in
he played
Bronx
Bronx
Tale?
Tale. So he's great in this. He really helps Benny out in a bunch of these episodes.
Yeah, his character does some solids.
So he says, "We got to talk," and then the show fades to black, and that's the end of the program. But before we slam hands on the table, Lisa, I just want to say that poor fucking Benny gets no time to be happy.
No.
Every time
No
this
relief.
guy has the weight is off of his shoulders, it lasts about 15 fucking minutes.
If that.
And then his
If
world
that.
shows
Yeah,
up. So
yeah.
just, hats off to Stay Strong. And then he comes in and we fade to black. And just another great episode, Lisa.
Yes.
And I want to say before we go to our calls to action that this episode was produced in loving memory of Clement Raymond Gamal. And we always want to make sure that if any dedications that the creators have, we want to make sure we honor those dedications. So thank you.
Yeah.
Lisa, great episode.
Great episode.
Come on. We love this show. This is episode 3 of season 2. We're going to jump into episode 4 next. We want to make sure that all of you go ahead and follow us on social media. Check out the Talking Gravesend Podcast on Instagram and Facebook page. And, of course, make sure you subscribe right to this YouTube channel.
Yes. And we're also a podcast. You can hear us audio only.
Audio
we're on
only.
Apple, Spotify,
We're on all the
Audacity,
platforms.
all the-
iHeartRadio. Check it out. Leave us a
Yes.
review. Reviews help people find the show.
Yeah, give us a rating. Make sure it's a good one.
Make sure it's a good one. And
Make
while
sure
you're
it's a good
doing
one.
so, go ahead and like all the Gravesend series on Instagram, Facebook. They're on Amazon Prime. You can see them free on Tubi. This is the best organized crime time period piece streaming today. Take our word for it, or at least watch our show and tell us you agree.
Absolutely.
Anything else we'd like to say to anybody before we wrap this up?
No, I think we'll see you on the streets, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
All right, everybody. Love it. Thanks for sticking around. And as always, ciao.
Ciao.